Hello, how's it all going? Hope everyone's well who watches my videos, and everyone in general on the whole face of the earth. I know a lot of people aren't, but just saying. On a lot of my videos I might well, obviously everyone makes mistakes. I might say things that are wrong, or I might put things verbally wrong by accident and mean something completely different, like say he rather than she, or so on. But that's not intentional, it's just stuff I get wrong. And a lot of the times I might quote stuff from a documentary I've seen, but not have the documentary to hand, so things like that. So I'm going to try and put more links and stuff in my videos for the next lot of videos, seeing as I've only just learned how to use these linking things. Yeah, so hope everyone who's a targeted individual is doing super powerfully and dealing with the terrible crap you've got to deal with, but it seems that everyone deals pretty well with it. And like I say, at least we're not getting blown to pieces on other countries and stuff like that, which would be terrible. But as I've said before, I think the reason why these things happen is because our system is fucked up. Our system is dodgy. It's just not helpful for 99% of people. It's not really helpful. If people took a step back or floated out of their body for a moment and looked from a complete different angle, floated away, looked at their family, themselves and everything from a bit of a distance, looked right at themselves and thought to themselves, crikey, we are all just slaves, basically. None of us know it. Not slaves in the not slaves that get whipped or beaten, but in a way we are whipped and beaten, aren't we? Just in a psychological manner. I mean, as soon as you finish school, as you're a kid or whatever, you go to college or you might go to university even, you've got all that pressure on you. You need to get a job, you need to supply for your family and all that. But the only reason it is the way it is because of this system. I think everyone would just fall into a place that they'd find happy if this system wasn't rolling. If we didn't have such a system controlled for the elites, for these super billionaires or even trillionaires, for all we know. Life would be a lot easier for all of us. And I think to these trillionaires and billionaires, they see us, especially people like me, as cattle. That we're not that important. It doesn't really matter if we're in a building that gets blown to pieces. It doesn't. It's collateral damage, you know. They don't really care. Think about it. Think about all the people that are being blown to bits in other countries, in Syria and everywhere like that, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. All these people that are being blown to bits, innocent children, being blown to pieces, but no one gets in trouble for that. Yet the thing that happened in France recently, which was terrible, 130 something people got killed, and loads injured. We wouldn't drop a bomb there, would we, to kill off the terrorists? So why are we just dropping bombs all over the rest of the place? That doesn't make sense to me. If you look at it from a pull yourself away and pretend you don't live here in England or in America, or pretend you live there, and just pretend you're floating above and seeing what's going on, and then your perception of the bad guys is going to change, I reckon, anyway. I know there's some terrible laws and stuff, but I mean, what was it? Since America went into Iraq, opium supplies, I've probably said this on a video before, I think it was Iraq. I'm not too good with countries. I've got a map up there too, so I should be looking at that more. Opium supplies went up tenfold when America took over. 10 times the amount of opium was being produced. Now, why was that being produced? Oh, so they could sell it to Americans, and the British MI5 or MI6 were taking it over, so heroin can be sold all over the place to everyone to keep the heroin addicts in heroin and to make them a lot of money. Now, I'm sure if these drugs were legalised, they'd lose out on lots of money, and that's probably the reason they haven't been legalised, because if you look at Portugal and other places where they're being decriminalised, STD rates went right down, HIV and AIDS went down, less people started contracting HIV and AIDS, so people were using cleaner needles and so forth. Not just with heroin, but the streets got cleaner too. And that was all through decriminalising all drugs. Whereas in Holland, for instance, they cannabis is legal to smoke over there and there's less teenagers that are on cannabis than there is in England, where it is illegal. So just legalise the stuff. Yeah, I know lots of people are going to have opposing views to me with this stuff, but legalise it. Then it can be regulated better. Someone's not going to get heroin one day and it be filled with rat poison, and then another day get such a powerful dose of heroin, assuming that it's like the heroin they've had before, injecting far too much and killing themselves. None of that will happen, so death rates go down too. But I can't really make a good point because I don't have the intelligence to fight some of these intellectual snobs that I get commenting from time to time. There's some cool commenters, and I don't mind if people disagree with me, that's fine. But people that are intentionally put comments, so which make it impossible to reply to them, is ridiculous. And that's just the game of psychology. That's just trying to be psychologically clever and better than them. So these people that do this must have a massive ego, thinking just thinking they can outwit anyone. But why come to me? I'm a dumbass anyway. Why do it to me? If you're that clever and you've got that much of a big ego, you want to make everyone think you're clever, go on to some right clever bastard site who knows all sorts about quantum physics and that, and try it with them, and I bet you it's not going to work. It'll work with me because I just won't reply, because I don't have the bother to look up intellectual answers and try and find you responses to stuff that are nearly impossible to respond to just from the way you've worded it. It's very clever, I must admit. And I've learnt a lot. I could do the same thing, but I'm not that much of a knob that I would. And that's only directed at the odd. No one who's subscribed to me or anything like that has been like that, but it's directed at the odd person who just is just a bit ridiculous with it all. But let me get off that subject. What was the subject I was on? Oh yeah. I was going to say, there's lots of people that are so anxious and find it, like me, I am anxious as I don't know what natural creature is anxious. I was going to say an ant. I move around, I'm continuously moving and that, but I'm quite relaxed today, which is good. Some days I'm relaxed, some days I'm not relaxed, and I think meditation helps. But I think if you're that anxious, right, but you're that against drugs or whatever, B vitamins is a great help for the mind to keep it focused and that, and it'll I'm sure it pulls your confidence up, especially if you ramp your body full of B vitamins And choline from eggs, yeast extract is the great one. I've said this before. These are the things that seem to keep my brain running. But what used to help me is Valium. But you get addicted to it. So you need to know, if you are to take Valium or any sort of anti-anxiety drug, to taper off it, or to take it once a week, or to take it for a few days each month, but then not take it again. Have a couple of days of anxiety as you're coming off it, but then when you get to your most anxious state again, you can take a bit of Valium and you'll feel better. If anyone wanted to go down that route. Obviously, it's hard to get from doctors. They don't seem to want to give it anymore, even though they gave it out like Smarties. And I think the reason for that is because there's no experimental value to it anymore. It's much safer than antipsychotics or anything like that, but still, they don't want to give it. I've asked my doctor on numerous occasions, I've said, well, alternate me with Valium. Alternation process. I was put on it for 2 years, but non-stop, so I was basically addicted to the stuff, taking 40 milligrams a day for 2 years, which was prescribed. And then I get put on a computer screen, which I incidentally saw because the doctor's computer was sort of turned round a bit. So I leant over and had a look, and it said, this person's been done for Valium abuse. And I thought, no, I haven't. I haven't abused it. I've done exactly what the doctors told me. So that stops me ever being able to get diazepam from the doctors. And it's extremely hard in England. It might be a bit easier in America because there's, well, you've got your insurance companies and that, and it's not through the NHS, so it might be a bit easier. I'm not sure because I've never been to America. I'd have loved to have gone, but I can't because of my criminal record now. So that's a a swear word. But yeah, I was looking up about paranoid. I've looked this up years ago, so it's more something I've looked up years ago and thought about. Paranoid delusional disorder meets all targeted individuals' problems as a psychiatric disorder. If you were to be diagnosed with something, paranoid delusional disorder would be on the spot a lot of the time, because everything you talk about is true, but they would say unlikely, so you need to be medicated, okay? The thing with paranoid delusional disorder is no antipsychotics or any other medication work. The only medications that work are sedatives because they relax the person for while they're going through any scary episodes or moments, like street theatre or gaslighting or anything like that. So this will be very controversial to a lot of you, because a lot of people will say, "Nah, Philly, that's not good to take stuff like that." But if you're in that much of an anxious state and you feel like your heart's going to pop and that, I would say a small dose of Valium every now and then is probably the best answer. The problem is getting it, especially in England, especially from a doctor in England. So yeah, but that's just one of my. I think meditation is good too. But if you're that shaking and you feel like you're going to blow up, a small dose of diazepam would be fine for anyone. And yeah, I haven't heard anyone mention it before, so sorry, the green is the TV, it's RT shining at my face now it's adverts. So yeah, if you don't give drugs a go, just dismiss everything I've said. But I'm saying it helped me for the 2 years I was on it, but the tapering off after the 2 years was hell. They put me in hell because they tapered me off extremely quick, and they do the same to people in prison. There'll be people that have been on Valium for quite some time, and then they'll go to prison, which is one of the most anxiety-inducing places you can possibly go to, especially if you suffer from severe anxiety, and they taper you off your Valium or whatever other sedative-like drug. You're on benzodiazepine type drug within a couple of weeks. So it's nasty for prisoners, and it's just terrible the way our system works, especially for prisoners, because I've been there and I know what they do with drugs on prisoners. I had a prison pal in there, I won't use his name, but he used to come and sit with me a lot when the doors were open, and he was on antipsychotics, quetiapine, and they were like, nah, sorry, he went for his daily antipsychotic to get it. Sorry, it is banging out there. Sorry, we haven't got any. You'll have to wait till tomorrow. So, an antipsychotic he takes day in, day out for all them years, they're allowed to just say, sorry, we ain't got any in the prison, so you'll have to wait. So he got in touch with his mental health team on the phone, because you got the prison phones and that, luckily, because it was an opening time bit, and they came and they told him, well, these antipsychotics will stay in your system for 3 days, so there's nothing we can do about it, so you should be fine till then. Well, if that's the case, why don't they give them you every 3 days? But anyway, it's corrupt. The whole way the prison system works is freaking unbelievable when it comes to drugs. The reason there's so much violence and that is because people need other people's drugs, because they're anxious and agitated. They need to be able to get hold of drugs of other people. I was held up with don't know what shiv point for my tablets, and I had 2 weeks to go. I gave them away. I felt alright weed after doing it, and then I realised, like, crikey, these were anti-anxiety tablets. These were pregabalin. I felt so ill, so ill after letting them have them. I was really thinking, flipping it, I should have just fought for my life and not let him have them. But it was probably the right thing to do, because I had 2 weeks left, and once I start, I don't seem to stop, and that's what gets me into places like prison in the first place. Hopefully that'll never happen again, because I don't drink, and drink is one of the main causes of my problems now. It's like I used to be able to drink, I'd be fine, but now I drink, now carry on drinking, and then I'll buy 8 cans, I'll drink them 8 cans, and then I'll buy another 8 cans, I'll drink them 8 cans, and I'll still be wanting more, so I'll buy. It just gets ridiculous. I'll drink over 20 odd cans, and then I won't know what I'm doing. Find myself in a cell where they've parva sprayed me 8 times or whatever, and being done for smashing someone's house up. So that's what drink does to me, and that's why I'm trying to stay away from it. Even though you got these evil demons, I'll call them demons because I don't think they even know who they are or what they are, that are pissing around doing this stuff to try triggering you off in any way, shape or form, including people that work within the mental health, including people that work within probation, including people that work within the police force, including every aspect, including Neighbourhood Watch. They're all coerced. So all you people, you're coerced. Maybe I'm coerced in some way that I don't know about. I hope I'm not, because I want to be uncoercible by the end of all this. I want to not be able to be directed anywhere. I want to be my own soul. I don't want my soul to be pulled about left, right and centre for others' gains, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Good luck to all the TIs out there and that, and I'm sorry if in any of my videos I've given false information. Normally, if I speculate on things, I'll normally say it's something I think, so don't take it as literally. Only take it as literally if you feel you're going through the same things and the same sorts of situations have happened. I'm waving my arm, this guy on TV is waving his arm too. So yeah, stay super strong. I mean, super strong. Do plenty of exercise, as much as you can anyway, in this situation, even if it's just moving your arms while you're in bed. Do press-ups, do sit-ups, do punch a wall bag. You can get a cheap wall bag that you can fill with sand or dried peas, and use that just to punch some of that adrenaline out of your system, because you don't want it to carry on building up, and it'll make you feel weaker and weaker unless you get rid of it. And that's proper advice. And also, overload of adrenaline in the brain, which turns to adrenochrome and all these other different adrenal byproducts, can cause schizophrenic symptoms. So it may make you schizophrenic just because you've got all this adrenaline. Now you wipe out all that adrenaline and it will go away. But these people are trying to prescribe antipsychotic drugs, which are freaking dangerous, so dangerous compared to anything, much more dangerous than Valium or anything like that, that has been tested on the population for year after year after year after year for a long, long time. But antipsychotics are the new thing. They think they can prescribe anyone with antipsychotics now, especially if they can give you a diagnosis of schizophrenia, which probably isn't true. And if any of you TIs get diagnosed with schizophrenia and you believe it not to be true and you believe it to be the problems that you're having, make sure you get plenty of B vitamins in your brain. You can take more than the specified dose. There's a massive dosage. You can overdose, but it's a massive amount you need to overdose. Whack a load of B vitamins in, and folic acid and choline from eggs. So eat plenty of eggs if you're not vegan, and wipe it out your system. Also doing exercise. All that in one, especially after taking the B vitamins, will help wipe that crap out your system. That's the only advice I know that has been working with me and has made my brain feel much more agile. And I'm even kicking ass on the old computer. I know I'm 29 years old, but I still like playing a computer. So, thank you for watching, anyone, and I hope you all stay super strong.